Holy cannoli. Maga. Listen. Here's the way the divine works. So, when I do these readings, I open the Akashic records of whoever is going to benefit from the reading, right? So I open my consciousness into energetic alignment with you people and whoever's going to see it and whoever's going to benefit from it and so on and so forth. Okay. Now, today, as I'm opening the records and I'm asking specifically, hey, can we open the records for, this is not how the prayer goes, but you get the idea. For those who will see this and benefit from it, I got 1, 2, 3, 4 3-card spreads for myself before anything for you people was willing to come through. I kept being like, I would pull 3 cards and be like, well, that's for me, right? And they'd be like, yeah. And I'd be like, it's for the people too? They'd be like, no. I'd be like, cool. I get it. Let's pull 3 more for the people. And they'd be like, sure, cool. Then we'd pull 3 more. And I'd be like, that's for me too, right? They'd be like, yeah. And I'd be like, got it. It's for the people too? And they'd be like, nah. And I'd be like, but that happened 4 times. So I didn't get to what's for you people until the 5th GD time I pulled some GD freaking cards. Why I'm not cussing lately, it's really beyond me. I'm a big cusser. I'm like the woo-wooiest of the woo people, but I'm a cuss hard. You know why? Here's the thing. People are incorrect when they assume that, like, as you do spiritual shit, you become like all ha and wind and fairies. Not necessarily. I'm connected to wind and fairies, but I'm also a very of the earth, right here, no bullshit, Jewy, New York, East Coast kind of lady. So sometimes I cuss. Now, another part of the cussing thing, some people, I'm just amazed we live in 2021 and there's still people upset about it. Calm down, spiritual America. Fucking A. I had a teacher once who said, the higher you go vibrationally, the brighter your light becomes, the more activated your lower self becomes as well. So your task is to employ the engine of your lower self in service of the work your higher self is here to do on the earth. You're supposed to use your lower self engine to move forward in time and space on your spiritual journey. That's what it's for. So if every now and again you need to say fuck to accurately express what your higher self is trying to communicate, you fucking do it, bitch. You do that shit. Now, let's look at your cards, people. If you're here watching this, your recent past is this motherfucker. Transformation. Things are changing at a cellular level. Have you noticed? Deep healing. The current moment is this bitch, Anna, grandmother of Jesus, who's talking about seeding the light, laying foundations, divine plan. Juicy. Right around the corner is coming this fine feast of a fat, funky foal. I don't know. I got nothing. Play, have fun, celebrate. Don't be so serious. Well, who doesn't want that as their outcome card in a 3-card spread? I don't know. If you're that person, you need some help. Now, and don't we all need help? Yes, we all need help. Don't feel judged because I said you need help. I need help. You know who needs help? This dog needs help. Everybody needs help. So please, if you're triggered by me telling you need help, get some help. Now, the recent past, transformation. I never said it wasn't going to be sassy. I never said that. In fact, I said the opposite of that. Where you've just been, everybody, is this energy. Let's read it right now from this deck that keeps making me read from it lately. I cannot get away from this deck, which I recommend highly. That one. Now, things are changing at a cellular level. You're not who you were a year ago or who you will soon be. You're in between, emerging, half risen, half falling. Keep doing the work. You are transforming. You will look back at this time with awe. Well, that's cool. So much is happening in your inner world and within your cells. It's time to release old ways of being that have kept you in fight, flight, freeze mode. Try to say that 3 times fast. Fight, flight, freeze, fight, flight, freeze, fight, flight, freeze. I did it. To choose a new way of being where trauma is not the driving force. Wouldn't that be nice? You know who's not functioning from trauma? This bitch. Now, Old childhood patterns are rising up to be healed. As you allow yourself to observe them and feel them without attachment, they loosen their grip and fall away. You're being called to find new ways to self-soothe. Try saying that one 3 times fast. Self-soothe. 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 It's hard. Saturn and the Black Madonna and the African goddess Oshun influence this card. Interesting. Saturn represents destruction and transformation. The Black Madonna represents the underground and all that has been cast aside, this is the lower self I'm always talking about. The shit that we want to all just be like, I've transcended my feelings on the human level. No, you haven't. And Oshun represents the tender love of the original mother. I was having a good conversation with a woo-woo friend of mine earlier today, and we were talking about how one of the main misunderstandings human beings have about their feelings is we either go to like overindulgence of the feelings, all I am is my feelings, or total avoidance and wrong making of our feelings. I'm so dramatic. I'm so too emotional. Why do I feel so much? Why am I so sensitive? Judgment, 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 judgment. What we're supposed to do is use our feelings as a guidance system for something that's going on inside of you. If you're upset, something is triggered and it's time to go within and look at that. It's not something's triggered, now I'm going to blame people because I'm triggered outside of myself. It's called something's triggered and I need to look at what that is. What is the vulnerable fear-based need coming up under your trigger? What are you afraid of? What are you afraid of losing or not getting? I could just sit here on that one all day. What are you afraid of losing or not getting that is triggering you to react the way you're reacting? Oftentimes, life can be boiled down to simply that question. And if you communicate to the people in your life from the vulnerable truth of what you're afraid of losing or not getting, and not put your expectations of getting that thing or losing that thing on those people, you're going to have happy people in your life who want to hear from you about your feelings. Your feelings are a guidance system to teach you about something that's going on under them that usually has something to do with vulnerability. Okay, let's keep going. Boop-a-dee-boop-boop-boop. A rethreading is happening, healing at the deepest of levels. While you are in this phase, don't put yourself under pressure to perform. Isn't that nice? Could you give yourself that permission? Is that possible for you? Living in America, being the high-functioning being that you are, can you give yourself permission not to perform? Try it. You may need to review your relationship with your body, perhaps even shifting your diet or exercise regime or getting energetic healing support from this bitch. You may also need to consider some kind of emotional support, this bitch, as issues from your childhood may come up to be healed. You are deeply loved. Okay, this is the recent past. So in short, all your shit's coming up. Take care of yourself. Adjust your relationship to your eating and your habits with nutrition and your body. Get some healing work. Get some support. Okay, this is what the recent past has been igniting in you. You like this gesture? Feels a little obscene, doesn't it? But I kind of like it. Great. Current moment, Anna, grandmother of Jesus. Let's see what this bitch has to say, because I have never read this card, and it's on page 88, which, if you know me, you know that the 8s are following me around right now. I cannot drive on a freeway or go through a goddamn toll booth or look at a car license plate in front of me without 808, 818, 888, 888, all day 8. And the 8 is about leading people with, rather than leading people from above over, like top-down power dynamics kind of shit, leading with y'all. So I'm supposed to lead, but I need to connect and include you, right? And ponder and sit with what is the energy of leading with, rather than leading above. Okay. Present moment. Anna, grandmother of Jesus, was an ancient mystic who dedicated, actually I knew that, who dedicated her life to laying the foundations for Christ consciousness. If you were just in my Christ Light retreat, you're with me on the wowness of this card, to be woven through all of life. She is not widely known, but without her, Christ consciousness would not be rising as it is today. That's interesting. Anna represents the quiet dedication that is sometimes required to live a life of service. She represents the generations that came before that devoted their lives to dreaming a new world into being while knowing that they would not see the glorious end result. Damn. She represents the dutiful soldier, the unconditional mother, and the mystic who can see the thread that is woven through all of life. And, Anna teaches us that we all have a part to play in the divine plan, including you, bitch. It doesn't have to be on the world stage to be significant. Everyone I've ever met. One person's part is not worthier than another. One person's part may be to mother their children. Another's may be to gather women in circle each month. No part is better or worse, more important or less significant. We can each have within us a seed of light that we incarnated to share. Anna is gathering us all to remember and surrender to our part of the plan. Do you know how many people call me for healing sessions or readings just like, what is my purpose? AKA they want to know what their job is. AKA they want to know how they're going to be famous and wealthy. And I'm like, well, some people are meant to be famous and wealthy and have a specific job, and some people aren't. It's not one size fits all. Some people are actually meant to come here and find who they are and get authentic and get aligned and then just like do whatever for a job. Love their family, pet their dog, do whatever for a job. Other people, it's like you have a job to do, a task. But we've got to get out of this collective judgment we have of ourselves where we think if I don't find my perfect job, let me tell you something about finding your perfect job and your soul-aligned job. It's not all it's cracked up to be. You know why? There's work involved. You still have to show up when you don't fucking wanna, and you still have to get aligned, and you still have to deal with your moods, and you still have to navigate people, and you still have to do all the things of life. So rather than worrying so much about what is the specific job or work or whatever that matches my purpose, although some of us have to do that, but not everybody, focus instead on like getting good with reality. If you can navigate people and yourself in relationship to people and money and getting okay with making money and knowing what right-sizedness for you is around money and around love and connection, and if you can find what feels right to do, you're doing fucking great. That's the shit right there. Your relationship to the external matrix that is always mirroring itself back to you is the whole game. And then when your relationship to the external matrix of the all that is really clean internally, you start to have awareness of what you're meant to be doing. But don't beat yourself up if what you discover that is the most fulfilling thing in your life is to love people well. What if your whole purpose is to love well? Could you surrender your egoic attachment to what you think your life purpose is and surrender to loving people well, if that's the truth for you? Sometimes you need a session with somebody to find out. Anyway, la-da-dee-da, one person's part, we read that, she's gathering us, you get the point. So that's where we are right now. Because you've been changing on the deepest, most cellular levels, you're in a moment of like laying the foundation, understanding your spiritual purpose right here, right now. Divine plan, seeding the light, getting okay with what is for you. And the outcome is play, have fun, don't be so damn serious. Let's find it. Page 74. Stop taking life so seriously, would you? That's what this lady says. Stop it. Stop it. Your spirit needs to have some fun. The more you play, the more inspiration will follow. God, do I find that to be true in my own life. Take some time out to do something without being attached to the outcome. You are being called to rest and play and move the dog on your lap and learn to have more fun. Do something that makes you laugh, the best medicine around. Call up a friend that you can be silly with. Take your inner child on a date. The more you switch off your mind, the more room spirit has to whisper and guide. When we do things without being attached to the outcome, ideas, clarity, guidance, and solutions have the space to drop in. God, do I find that to be true. I just did a 3-week, oh my God, epic road trip across the country and back to the East Coast and then back to Colorado. I drove all the way back and had a blast. People keep saying, like, you drove for 5 days. That must have been terrible. I'm so sorry. And I'm like, oh, you're projecting your experience on me because I loved it. I loved every minute of it. I love traveling. I love driving. I love seeing new places so much. And it was so reinvigorating. And I was so taken care of financially. And I was so met along the way. And I was so fulfilled by the ride. Oh my God, I had a blast. Oh my God, I had a blast. I'm just thinking about it, having a blast. Anyway, everything fell into place totally perfectly. No problem. Even though I had to like cancel a flight and not fly back and drive a car back and it was a whole thing. It was a wonderful thing. And that's because that's fun for me. So then clients book sessions and people come to class because I'm in the space of receiving that comes from being in the alignment with joy. I'm having joy, and then things come. The left and the right hemispheres of the brain can begin talking to each other when you're having fun and playing. Make play a compulsory part of your day. Schedule it. I love that. Spend more time doing things just because you love to do them, just because they bring you joy and light you up. If you follow what lights you up, you will light up the world without even trying. For when you are lit up, you are in your spirit. And when you're in your spirit, you fall into flow with life. How do you play? What do you do to have fun? What lights you up? If you've been working hard lately, it's time to celebrate how far you have come, all that you've achieved. Don't rush on to the next thing. Take a moment to throw a party, go on a vacation, or have some fun. So good. So good. Okay, so there's this it's not a paradox, but it could seem like one where it's you've been working hard. You're seeding the path forward with light. And the result is you're going to have more fun. And it's cyclical, right? By having more fun, you create more transformation and seed the moment with more light. They all feed each other. I had a teacher once who said to me, this was a woman I got 2 readings from ever. And she said, this is way back in the 1800s when I was in my 20s. And she said, whenever I need to make more money as a self-employed person, I go have some fun. My mind says work harder, post more things, send an email. But I've learned, go have fun, and then suddenly money starts flowing. And I really took that to heart, and I sort of didn't believe her, so I thought, I'm going to challenge this idea. And ever since then, it has proven to be true. So I hope this is inspiring for y'all and makes you feel a little uplifted and effervesced today on this Wednesday. Sure, that sounds right. I'm not going to pretend to know what day it is. I love you guys. Take good care. If you need some healing, book a session. Now's the time. KatieRubin.com. Make it happen. Come to class. I have a 12-week healing class starting around the corner. We start May 9th. It's called Healing Through the 12 Steps. So we're going to work one of the 12 steps each week as your homework and then do a profound energy healing at the beginning of each class, and integrate what you learned through the week doing the homework into the healing. Now, understand, you don't have to, the 12 steps are not just for addicts and people who are alcoholic and family members of alcoholics, although it's perfect for you people. But the 12 steps are to create a spiritual foundation in anyone's life on any topic. So maybe your thing is you overthink. Or your thing is you can't figure out your family dynamics. Or your thing is, I don't know, you eat too many Cheetos. Or your thing is you don't sleep enough. Or your thing is anxiety. Or your thing is depression. Whatever your thing is, you want to think of the 12 steps as being a foundation for how to mentally frame your relationship to reality. So the 12-step work that we'll do gives you a mental framework for your body and your mind and your heart's relationship to God and reality and nature and people and money and everything. And then the healing work we'll do at the top of each class blasts out of your system everything you're holding on to that keeps you out of that correct alignment with reality. It keeps you from surrender. Keeping in mind that surrender doesn't mean you just lay down and become a doormat. Surrender means you open yourself to what is. Who are you for real? What is reality for real? And what is who you actually are in relationship to what reality actually is? That's what we're going to discover and heal all the blocks from during our 12-week class. So check that out. Come join. I love you guys. Have a great day. Be good to yourself. Play with your dog. I mean, in an appropriate way. Don't molest your dog. That's gross.